Hi everyone!
We're thrilled to announce that TOR is coming back! Claire.
Feeling guilty.
It's about time if you ask us.
Anyway, Dory thought that since a lot of things have happened in her story, it'd be great if we could summarize what has happened so far, so...
Let's go! So, as you know, Season 1 ended with me marrying to this ferret right here.
Hey! This is not that AU!
Sorry! Let me rephrase it then. Season 1 ended with my marriage to this insufferable prince.
Not amused. Let me handle this instead. So, a week after our marriage, we found the first signs of the infection.
Which was followed by my first encounter with the Centimonster and Shadow King.
Part 30.
A very unpleasant encounter, I might add.
Part 33. Since when have you been wearing a scarf? It's not even cold here. See, I knew that you were wearing the scarf for a reason.
Seriously?
Covering her ears. Whisper. The following night, I was patrolling when I met some really shady figures who... Let's just say I've never encountered such powerful creatures before. I'm not even sure if they were Centimonsters or something more... dangerous instead. Part 36. What I know for sure is that if it weren't for this angel, I probably wouldn't have survived that night. I think that was the moment my feelings started to change for her.
So, after the Centimonster attack, one night, I found a badly injured Chat Noir on my balcony, who I managed to save thanks to my healing powers. That is, according to Tiki, although I find it still hard to believe.
Part 40.
Anyway, it was followed by the Autumn Ball, where I could finally reunite with Luca.
Would you please stop daydreaming about Bluehead?
Oh, are you still jealous of him, just like at the ball?
I'm not! I just thought you should have danced with your husband, not with some prince from another kingdom, that's all.
Yeah, he totally was jealous. Anyway, this was the night when Luca told me about the spies his father had sent, disguised as envoys, and told us that we must be careful if we don't want them to discover the rottings.
Huh?
But this was not the only memorable event at the ball, when this guy surprised me by offering his help and suggesting we have a fresh start. But what meant the most to me was when you comforted me on the day my mom died. You were so sweet and understanding. You even opened up to me for the first time by mentioning your father. Speaking of which, I just realized that the readers don't know a thing about him.
Don't worry about that, Princess. Dory let me know that the readers will find out Father's story later in the new season. So, the next day, we started our research in the garden where you showed me your mother's notes. Part 17.
Ah, yes, the notes I found in her diary. They contained records about a similar disease she had experienced that had made both of us sick back then.
Yes, and that's why we concluded the rot and that illness from must be the same.
Except I didn't get sick this time.
Happy she's not sick.
Pondering. But why?
Part 44. Anyway, that's when I showed you the poem that my father used to tell me, which was similar to the one your mom had mentioned in her notes. Part 44. The Birth of Paris. Once was a war that made our ancestors create an object which holds the power that turns our every hour into a time of joy and peace, and stops the battling and disease. Throughout the centuries, it had been a rescue, a guardian, a home that named Paris the capital of France, the city of lights, which ancient history most of us might forget by now or did not know at all. But if you're curious, and you shall, search for the beating heart, which is showing the way to the soul of Paris.
Which makes us believe that it must be the key to stop the rot for good.
Day 30. The key is the soul of Paris in this. A few weeks later, I suggested to take a walk on the streets after my conversation with Nino. You have feelings for her. Part 46. And a realization. I like her.
Hmm?
Part 48. Regarding that suggestion, I regretted it right away. Had I known you would be attacked, I had never left you alone. It was all my fault. I'm so sorry, Marinette.
Hey, why would you say that? This way, I got to find out that you liked me.
Part 49.
And must I remind you that this was when we shared our first kiss?
Yes, please remind me.
So, the following night, I reconciled with Chat Noir.
Part 52.
However, after that, I had an awful experience with your mother and Lady Rossi. Whisper, between us guys, I really dislike them. Anyway, once we cleared things between us and I realized my feelings for you,
Hey, that reminds me. You haven't told me that you love me. Don't worry, she will. She just needs some time.
Let's continue instead. So, I had a nightmare and asked you to stay with me for the night. Tiki told me about my possible powers. I found out that you can play the piano. Thanks to Nino, we learned about the hidden room in the library, where we found the Miraculous Codexes. The Codex, which I handed over to Chat Noir, who tried to kill.
Let's forget about that part, everyone. Part 61. It's sufficient to say that, thanks to that, I found out a certain lady's identity.
After making sure this guy was out of Crimson Menace's sight, Kitty and I defeated him.
Yeah, exactly. By killing it with my cataclysm! And if that wasn't enough, my master then forbade me from telling my identity to Milady. Why didn't you let me tell her the truth? I'm sorry, my bean, but it's for the sake of the plot. Yeah, for the sake of the plot.
And so, I got to meet Kitty's master for the first time, who told us about a weird prophecy and a miraculous that might be the cause of the illness. Phew, I think that's all.
I don't know about you, but I think we should make a list of what we know so far, as I can see the confusion in our readers' eyes.
I agree, Prince. Huh?